Well, there's a lot going on in the Middle East right now, and one of the things is that not only Hezbollah but Iran is taking up a position on Israel's northern border. And believe it or not, of all people that Israel is counting on to make sure there's no trouble in Syria is Russia. In fact, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has made a number of visits to Russia over the past few months to try to buckle down and to secure some type of a deal with Russia, although Russia can only do so much, especially so far southwest of Damascus. And this is what the article says, that since it deployed troops to Syria in 2015, Russia's profile in the Middle East has risen visibly. Beyond the Syrian battlefield, Moscow has effectively inserted itself into a number of disputes in the region as part of a push to boost its global prominence and bolster its clout in negotiations more critical to Russian interests. And you need to pardon my voice right now. I'm trying to get over anyway, some sinus issues. In its foray into Palestinian relations and Libyan quarrels, Russia has shoehorned its way into negotiations that are often stalemated, not with the hope of fostering a solution, but with the intention of boosting its influence with regional leaders. Basically what Russia's trying to do really is get a better position with the United States and also the European Union. But at the same time, it's trying to also make itself look better among other countries such as Israel, Jordan, Egypt, and the like. So right now in the Middle East, everybody's trying to go through Russia in order to maintain control of that particular area of the region, such as Syria. And that goes for Turkey as well. Now, Israel is deeply concerned about instability on its borders with Syria, as I mentioned earlier, where Hezbollah and other pro-Syrian and pro-Iranian militias have encroached, particularly in the sensitive Golan Heights region. Now, here's something you might find surprising. It says, when Russia first intervened in the Syrian conflict, Israel saw an opportunity to entreat an old ally for help in keeping the worst of the country's instability off its doorstep. Israel regularly implores Russia to keep pro-Iranian and deeply anti-Israeli groups away from the border. Given Israel's strong military capabilities, however, what it needs most from Moscow is to be given the space in Syria for military action, particularly against Hezbollah. And here's another thing that might surprise you. It says when Russia announced the drawdown of its forces back in March of 2016, Israeli officials of the highest rank eagerly sought clarity on exactly how Russia would continue to help maintain Israeli security as its presence in Syria decreased. Specifically, Israel has sought Russia's guarantees that Hezbollah would not get its hands on the military aid and support Moscow has granted to the Syrian military. That same month, Putin offered reassurances that Russia's relations with Israel were special and based on friendship, mutual understanding, and a long common history. Israel, in turn, has shown concrete support for Moscow's agenda by avoiding selling weapons to countries on Russia's periphery. In 2008, Russia's short-lived war with Georgia, Tel Aviv suspended its weapons support for that country. So right now, at this point, Israel is in favor of Russia staying in the Syrian periphery and to maintain control over the area. But the only problem is that Russia has only so much manpower to take care of business that Israel would like to have done. And Israel's not naive when it comes to Russian support. They'll do as much as they can. But there's a point where Russia has only so many military personnel in the area that they can't get everybody. And going on, it says Moscow's ability to maneuver actors on the Syrian battlefield is limited, especially in southwestern Syria. And Israel knows it. As multiple failed Syrian ceasefire attempts have shown, Russia's ability to influence the Syrian army's actions falls short of being able to control allied forces, especially those like Hezbollah that are backed by Iran, even in areas in northern Syria where Russia has greater sway than it does in the south, where Iran holds firmer control. So it wouldn't be shocking at all that in the near future that you will see a growing pro-Iranian faction in that area, and maybe even Iranian soldiers. But you know what, this is what is prophetic about this. The Bible says that in Ezekiel 38, that at some point in time, Russia is going to see a chance to take a spoil in Israel. We don't know what that spoil is. But the Bible is clear that one day they're going to turn around and they're going to go from being an ally to Israel to being an attacker. And you know, many of the named countries that are mentioned in the early portion of Ezekiel 38, such as Russia, Iran, Turkey, Libya, Syria, are in Russia right now. In fact, Russia is helping Libya right now to regain lost territory, and they want to build a base in Libya. And right now there are Libyan soldiers in Syria being trained by Russia. But at some point in time, something that looks like Israel wants is going to turn bad. And all the actors are in that country right now in order for this to take place. Now, when it's going to take place, who knows? But there are definitely multiple reports coming out of various media outlets that indicate that a war with Hezbollah and or a pro-Iranian faction is imminent. And, you know, there's no question about it, it's going to take place. And all Russia can do is try to control the inevitable, but they believe that there's really nothing anyone can do that at some point in time. Israel will be attacked. But the question is what is the spoil that will at some point in time turn Russia from an ally to a feared enemy that will not only be alone, but will come with many other countries with them. And, you know, the worst part about it is this Syrian war, along with ISIS, has invited a lot of these countries in to have free reign and to go about where they want to, just for the fact that they're doing this in the name of trying to end this Syrian war and also trying to extinguish ISIS. But at some point in time, it's going to turn around, and they're going to come down upon Israel. Like I said, we'll have to wait and see how far along that will be. But definitely all the players are there, and we just don't know what the catalyst will be that will ignite Russia to make this bold move that everyone will question outside of the periphery. But this is just a little dose of what real prophecy is. This is basically being ripped out of the pages of the Bible. And if you don't know the Lord, today is the day of salvation. Don't put it off. 150,000 people will die by the end of this day. The Bible says that the vast majority will end up in a burning hell. Don't let that happen to you. Come to the Lord today. And you that are Christians, you need to get a copy of my Tribulation Period Survival Guide in the hands of every lost friend and loved one that you have. Whether you decide to buy the paperback book and hand it to them, or the 9 different languages that this book has been translated in, that's free. You can go to my website, and you can go to the link, download it, and whatever the case may be, send it off to your friend, or just have them do it. But it's written in 9 different languages, and I'm looking this summer possibly to increase that again. But I would encourage you to get a copy either way. Go down to the description, and it'll take you to the link that's necessary to get either of those copies. Well, this is Terry Malone with the Calvary Prophecy Report.